Good morning. It's a privilege to be with you today, and I want to begin by thanking each one of you, whether you're a transit director, a driver, a scheduler, a planner, or a policy advocate, for the work that you do every single day to keep our rural communities connected. You may not always get the recognition you deserve, but the impact and the difference you make is truly profound and very lasting. You are very important. We are the Mississippi Department of Transportation, and a lot of times the roads and bridges get a lot of the attention, but we are focused on trying to help all the modes of transportation. In a previous life, I worked for Senator Thad Cochran. He used to tell this story to illustrate how everybody is important. Everybody brings value to the team. And this is a true story. It happened back, some of you may remember, as a United States Senator named Bill Bradley. I think he was from New Jersey, and he ran for president about 25 years ago. And he was keynoting this Democratic fundraiser while he was running for president. And little guy comes around, you know, all the pats of butter, and he's giving them out, and he gives them a pat of butter. And Senator Bradley said, "I'd like 2 pats of butter." And he said, "I'm sorry, sir, there's only 1 pat per person." He said, "Well, I want 2 pats." He said, "I'm sorry, there's only 1 per person until I can get around the room. If I have any left, I'll come back." And Senator Bradley said, "Well, evidently you don't know who I am. I'm Senator Bill Bradley. I'm keynoting this address, NBA star. I'm running for president, and I want 2 pats of butter." And the little old man said, "Well, evidently you don't know who I am." And he said, "Well, as a matter of fact, I don't. Just who are you?" He said, "I'm the guy in charge of the butter, and it's not but 1 pat per person." But in a rural state like ours, public transit plays a very different role than it does in your more urban states. We don't measure success by turnstile clicks or packed subway cars. We measure it by the single mom who's able to get to work, the senior who can make it to a doctor's appointment, the veteran who finds connection and purpose in community outings, or the student who finally has arrived at their technical college courses. You and your teams aren't just running routes, you're running lifelines. I've always heard that it's a poor frog that doesn't croak about his own pond. So I'd like to take a moment to thank MDOT's Public Transit Division, which is led by Ms. Shirley Wilson and her great team of outstanding professionals, and of course our Director of Intermodal Planning and Highway Operations, Mr. Jim Willis. They reflect great credit on the Mississippi Department of Transportation, and I appreciate the work that all of you do day in and day out. There's a misconception that public transit is only for dense urban areas. I've noticed that it's optional in places like Mississippi, but we know better. Public transit in rural America is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Let's think about who relies on it. The elderly, people with disabilities, folks living on fixed incomes, those who simply cannot afford a vehicle or don't have a license. In fact, many counties across the state, more than 10% of the households have no access to a personal vehicle. Now, that's no small number. That's not a fringe group. That's our neighbors. That's our church members, our co-workers, and in many cases, that's our families. And when a county has 1 dialysis center, or 1 grocery store, or 1 community college that's 40 miles away, you better believe that access to transit is not just a convenience. It's a matter of equity, it's a matter of health, and for many people it's a matter of survival. Transit is also an economic engine, and I think we should say that more often and louder than we have in the past. Public transit brings people to jobs and jobs to people. It helps local businesses keep reliable employees. It helps patients make it to appointments on time. It reduces missed work days, lowers stress, and saves money on vehicle maintenance and fuel. In rural areas where broadband gaps still exist, access to physical places, schools, job training centers, health clinics, is essential, and public transit is the bridge that helps get these people there. Moreover, for every dollar invested in public transit, communities see roughly $4 in economic returns. Now, that's a return any financial advisor would be proud of. And one of the reasons I admire your work so much is that you're not just operating vehicles, you're shaping futures. You're the friendly face that someone sees at 6 a.m. when they head to their first job interview. You're the reason a child in a rural town can participate in after-school tutoring. You're the reassurance for a family member who can't be with their elderly parent, but knows that local transit service will make sure that they get to their appointments on time and safely. And we all know that back during COVID, when everything else shut down, you kept running. You adapted, you sanitized, you masked up, and you showed up. That's not just a service. That's public service in its most purest form. And as we look ahead, I believe public and rural transit is on the cusp of something important. With new federal and state investments on the table, we have an opportunity to modernize and expand services like never before. I encourage you to dream big, to advocate boldly, to build coalitions with health providers, schools, workforce agencies, and local governments. Show them what you and I already know, that when rural transit thrives, whole communities thrive. And I'll end with this. There's a quiet heroism in what you do. It may not make the evening news or go viral online, but it's the bedrock of rural resilience. You're not just moving people from one place to another, you're moving possibility, you're moving connection, you're moving hope. So on behalf of all of us who live and love rural communities, thank you. Keep going, keep growing, keep believing in the value of what you do. The road may be long and the routes may wind, but because of you, more people have a path forward. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Thank you. Appreciate you.